So we're here with James from Imagine Fitness in Auckland Central, right in the heart of CBD here. A little bit tricky to find, but there's plenty of parking around the area, so if anybody is coming in here, it's best to get in here on foot. So thanks for having us, James.
Thanks, you're welcome.
Tell us, how long have you been in this spot?
So it was 2 years in April.
2 years in April, so it's kind of fairly new.
Yes, but I've been based in the CBD as a personal trainer for about 7 years.
Okay, so you were, I can tell a little bit of accent there, so I'm assuming that you're not a Kiwi. So
no.
What's your kind of background?
Yeah, so I am English, as you picked up. I originally did a degree in sport and exercise science back in the UK, which seems like an absolute age ago. And worked in the industry for a little while before getting what my dad termed a proper job. And after a number of years, I ended up living in New Zealand, and being here, I realised I didn't want to work in recruitment, which is what I've been doing in the past. So I brushed up my skills and became a PT. That was about 7 years ago. Started off at Club Physical, which was probably about a 3 or 4 minute walk from here, until they closed that site down. And that was when I started looking for the opportunity to have my own studio. In between finding this place and getting this place open, I worked at Tepid Baths for 12 months and then came across to establish this business. So did it take you a while to find the space that you wanted? Yeah, to find the right space. And once I'd found it, it was a complete shell. There was nothing here. So we had to sort of negotiate a refit and contract. So it took quite a while from finding the place to actually getting here to get it up and running, but it was worth the wait. So from the time that you found this, well, basically the time you signed the contract, yes, to the time you actually got up and running, how long was that? From the contract sign was about 3 months. That's not too bad, but still, I guess you had a rent-free period for that. Yes. Well, actually, I moved in. So they very kindly did the fit out for me, and then I moved in sort of on day one, and then had a rent-free period from day one. But I was effectively ready to open on the day my lease started, so all the work was done prior to that. But I guess sort of from the kind of like, we signed the lease at the beginning of the year with a start date for the 1st of April. So it gives them time to fit out for you. Yeah. So they paid for the fit out. They did. Oh, yes. That's excellent. All the equipment's obviously mine, but obviously. But the carpet, I assume, is them. Yes. And the painting. Yep. And it was a complete shell. It had never been used before, so they renovated the building. I think in 2007, and it had just been upstairs. Sat here. Yeah, upstairs. So it had just been sat here empty, and they were storing old mattresses in it, and it smelt really badly when I walked in the first time. So you had to have a bit of vision and imagination to see what it could look like and what potential could be. Yeah, I mean it is a smaller studio, but exactly that it is it's a studio. So you're not doing large group classes, I assume. What kind of class do you do? Do you do the one-on-one, and do you do small group fitness? Yeah, well, I always wanted it to be personal, as the name suggests, with personal training. So most of our business comes through one-on-one, but we do have a class timetable as well. So they're classes of sort of 6 to 8 people, depending on the structure, which is as many as we can fit in comfortably. Spaces. Yeah, comfortably. So we do what's sort of commonly known as HIIT these days, and also have a boxing class as well, which is very popular. Okay, so how many times a week do you have those kind of? So we're just currently running them 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday lunchtime. Okay, so you find the lunchtime crowd as being right in the middle of the CBD. I guess that's kind of your prime target. Yeah. What about showers and stuff like that? So we do have a shower and changing facilities. Again, very lucky in the fact that most of our clients these days, CBD buildings, tend to have showers and really good facilities for people to get changed in. So very few of the people who come to our classes will actually utilise our changing rooms, and they'll go back to their office and change there. Yeah, I mean, there's a big decision to put a shower on. I mean, our first facility in Santa Monica in the US, we didn't actually have a shower. Yeah. Our second one, we did put a shower in, but that decision, did you base it on the fact that you might get 1 or 2 people that need to have a shower, being in the CBD and everything? Absolutely, and a lot of my clients come to me through the middle of the day, so it's not like they're sort of coming at the end of the day or the beginning of the day where maybe they've got some time to get changed. So it's so I thought it was something that was going to be necessary. I originally wanted 2. They couldn't fit 2 in, and that's probably a good thing, because 1 is more than enough. It doesn't get as much. No, we've never had any problems with people queuing and waiting or anything like those lines. So and it's not like you've got a membership-based people waiting in. No. So
yourself is here, of
Yes.
course, and then do you have employees or are they contractors?
I've got two contractors, Emma and Caleb, who work out here with me.
Okay, so the three of you working in this one
Yes.
space. Okay,
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
fit.
Yes, exactly. And because we're small, I really wanted to sort of handpick the people. First and foremost, people that I liked and I would get on with, because then my clients would like and get on with them too. So, you know, I'm very lucky with Emma and Caleb. They're really nice people, and we all get on and work well as a team.
Do you exchange clients sometimes, like when you're traveling or anything like that?
Yeah, that has happened. I was away in the UK for 3 weeks last year, and a good number of my clients trained with both Emma and Caleb just to keep their routines going.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. That's kind of good to have that support there to allow you to travel a little bit, because that's the problem with your own business, right?
It is, and you know, I know a lot of personal trainers who wouldn't want to give their client to somebody else for a short period of time, but I've got enough trust with the guys in here that I'm quite comfortable with them doing it.
And if you're doing the right thing, you've got nothing to worry about, right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
If they show you up, then maybe something for you.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'll have to up my game a little bit.
Exactly, and it keeps you on your toes.
Yes.
Coming back to being on your game, so you came to New Zealand. What kind of upgrading on your education did you do once you decided to get back in? Was it more private little courses, or?
Yeah, I went to Max and did the I think it was 12-week course with them, which was a full-time course and pretty intensive, and then came out of that ready to get into the industry.
So you left your job and took 12 weeks to do the course.
Absolutely.
How did your parents feel about that one?
My parents, well, I'm 39 now.
Yeah,
so,
but still,
you know, my dad, you know.
You mentioned your dad at the beginning about your job.
They're always really supportive of what I do. The person I really should thank is my wife, because she, Sarah, she supported us while I was doing that with no income. So yes, so we were able to make that work because she had a good job and could do that. So I was lucky in that respect.
Yeah, it was a big risk.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Could have
been. Having come from a business and a sales background, I was confident in my ability to build relationships with people and get people to train with me. So that I was pretty confident that I would be able to attract people to do that.
I think that's one of the things we see in the fitness industry, and I've been all over the world, 50 plus countries, and one thing I notice is that a high percentage of the trainers can't do the selling and can't do that interaction to sell their services. They may be fantastic trainers, sometimes the best in the world, yet they're unable to do that selling aspect, which is, if you can't do that, you're out of business.
Absolutely. So, and I would by no means describe myself as a fantastic trainer. What I'm very good at is building relationships with people, reading people, and helping them get results. Obviously it's important, but some of my clients have been with me for 6 years. So I hope they like me. They must do to stick around for that long. So I think that's probably one of the most important things that a trainer can have.
Okay. So talking about the sales aspect of the business, which should be a lot more talked about, I guess, and people don't talk about that.
Yep.
Did you do any kind of, I mean, you're in the sales industry of some kind, but did you do any additional training for that? Do you find it a little different from what you were doing before to selling PT, or anything? Any suggestions there?
Yeah, it's definitely different, and it's definitely selling on a very personal sort of one-to-one level. I've got a very good sort of pre-screener that I go through with people, which I guess sort of really taps into their emotions of why they want personal training, what results they want, and why they want them. And that's a very useful tool to use, because it gets people sort of thinking sort of emotionally about what they need. So that's been a very useful tool. And from a business perspective and a sales perspective, I normally invest in some coaching or mentoring every year. Pick an area of my business that I think needs developing, and find some experts in the industry to help me do that.
So you're mentoring on the sales as well as the training?
Yeah.
Every field?
I tend to focus more on the business aspect of things, so working on my business rather than in my business.
Yeah.
And so, I know I can get clients the results they like, and I know that people like me and they stay around. So for me, the thing that I like to focus on is is developing my business skills, whether that's sales or systems, marketing, whatever it is.
Well, those systems, I mean, I've been talking to people in the past couple of weeks, during the show, and I do find that the most successful are the ones that have those systems in place, business systems as well as the training systems. So now, with the marketing aspect of your business, you have your website up, of course, but what kind of focus do you do on marketing? And
I mean, one of the first things that when we opened here, that was suddenly apparent was that we were in a really good location and we get a really good foot flow past the front door. It says personal training studio on the window. People can see in, so they know exactly what we are and exactly what we do. So if somebody opens the door and comes in for a chat, 9 times out of 10, we're going to sign them up.
The fact that they come through the door.
They come through the door. They know exactly what we are. They're almost ready. They would just need to sort of find out what their whys and see if we're the right people to work with. We by no means take everybody who works through the door. Some people,
not the right fit.
Yeah, not the right fit, or might have special requirements that we don't work to. So we'll recommend other trainers around.
And what about online marketing? Do you do much Facebook, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, definitely done Facebook marketing, got a newsletter as well. So I've done all of that. For me, the best form of advertising is word of mouth, referrals, and the foot flow that we get past the front door.
Good. So with the online, we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. Do you have a specific campaign set up, or you just kind of go with the flow?
Yeah, I experiment a little bit and see what works. Again, I would think sort of the percentage of people that come through from my online marketing is quite small, maybe sort of 20%, and the rest of it is through the referrals, word of mouth, and people knowing where we are.
Yeah, referral is the biggest part, and if you do the right job with
Absolutely.
people, then you're going to get that referral base. Do you do any kind of referral program at all? Any kind of?
There is a referral program that I offer for my clients, and I know Caleb and Emma offer one for theirs too. But generally our clients are really good, and they will refer just out of the kindness of the heart because they like us and like what we do, and they maybe got a friend that they think can benefit from us.
Great. What about your market? Actual market, do you focus on any specific market? Like we've had people who have focused on super slow training or weight loss and so forth. What kind of area do you more focus on?
So personally for me, I like to work with professional men and women, usually sort of in the 40s and 50s. They know the importance of exercise, and they want to have some regular exercise in their life. Some accountability. They're not necessarily looking for dramatic weight loss. They're looking for improvements in quality of life,
more wellness program.
Yeah, reduce stress, sleeping better, being able to run around with the kids, that sort of thing. So that's where my focus is. Personally, if somebody came in and said, they wanted a six-pack, I would put my hands up and say, look, I'm not the right trainer for you, and I would pass them on to one of the other trainers who specialise in that sort of field.
Do they both specialise in weight loss?
Yeah, Caleb in particular is very good with weight loss and body fat percentage, reducing that. So he works with people quite a lot in that area. So it's quite nice because if I know somebody's not a right fit for me, then they're going to be a right fit for Emma or for Caleb as well. So we, and they're the same. If they get somebody that's not right for them, then they'll refer it on to me.
And I guess you get people coming in who don't want to be in that large commercial gym scene.
Yep.
Where they get the private space by themselves, or at maximum, 3 people in here at one time.
Absolutely.
Working with the trainer one-on-one, so that's kind of beneficial for them, and being a business professional time as well. So with your training philosophy, do you have any kind of special training philosophies around that? Any kind of modalities you follow or kind of implement?
Yeah. Almost all of my sessions are 30 minutes, so they're short, sharp sessions that they do fit into people's lifestyles. They can get out from the office during the lunchtime, or sneak out sort of mid-morning, being with me for half an hour, and they can get back, and they're out of the office for say maybe 45 minutes. So that really works for them and fits into their lifestyle. Most of the training that I do with people is weight focused, not so much on the cardio side. People are quite happy to do that on their own, and I've got a really sort of simple philosophy where I try and make sure there's a pushing exercise, a pulling exercise, and a big compound leg exercise into every workout, and beyond there we sort of go with how it feels on the day.
Okay, so when someone comes in the first time, you said you put them through an assessment.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, part of the sales aspect as well.
Yes.
Any specific assessment tools you use, or is it just more like a standard intake screening?
Yeah, well, we go through, obviously we go through a consultation when somebody comes first in to establish their goals, any exercise history, injury history, etc., and do a full health screen with somebody before we start working with them. And then typically for me, depending on their exercise background and history, the first couple of sessions are sort of an assessment to see how they move, make sure their movement patterns are right, see if there's any sort of differences from left and right side of the body, and so we can work on those before we move into sort of any sort of heavier
So those
weights.
first few sessions are also filling them out, looking at their movement patterns and so forth. Right.
You know, so we try and give them good quality in there, but we want to make sure we're setting them up so that they can train with us for the long term, and making sure that we're not going to injure them.
Okay, do you provide any kind of dietary guidelines? Anything like that line? I mean, I guess it's more for fat loss clients too, but with the lifestyle stuff that you do kind of provide, like a dietary guideline?
Yeah, absolutely. I try and speak to people about portion control. Most of my clients, if I said, look, you need to cut out the coffee and cut out the beer and the wine and that kind of stuff, they'd probably just walk out the door and say goodbye, see you later. So we talk about about portion control, making sure that that's right, and that they're aware sort of what some healthier options are food-wise. So I won't ever give anybody a specific diet. I don't like to do that, but I'll certainly help people, give them guidelines of where they should be. Some people will come and do a food diary with me initially, but most people are quite well educated and know what they should and shouldn't be eating.
Maybe in New Zealand.
Yes.
Maybe that's a New Zealand thing more than what we saw in the US.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So what we'll do now is we'll have a look around the gym, and you can take us around and kind of see what you have here, huh?
Perfect.
Great. Welcome to Imagine Fitness.
Welcome. Come on in.
So looking at the gear, I mean, this is a small studio and you managed to kind of get quite a bit of gear in here anyway. You've got your cardio corner. Actually got more of a spin cycle here rather than a traditional bike. Was there any reason you went for a spin bike over a traditional kind of computerized bike? Maintenance is low.
I mean, there was that. I mean, there was certainly a cost factor involved as well when I was setting up the studio. And I just like the spin bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I think
great. There's probably a bit more that you can do with them rather than just sort of your standard sort of electronic.
You do some HIIT training. You were saying you use HIIT training a lot, right?
Yes.
Interval training. So I mean, I guess that's a little bit easier to work on than the computer bikes trying to change the intensity with the dial. I mean, that's far easier. You got the standardized treadmill and of course the Concept 2 row, which we love.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you got a separate machine for the bench.
Yep.
You like the bench press?
Yes.
So why did you go for a separate bench press? Is that because of just the amount of you only got one rack. I guess that's so you don't tie up the rack for bench press, but you went for that over another rack for any reason? Sales point?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, I've used the bench press a lot. I've seen a lot of other personal trainers use it. I don't think I've ever been into a gym that doesn't have a bench press. So, I just think it's one of those essential pieces of
when you walk
equipment.
into it visually, for people to think it's a real gym, right?
Yes.
If it doesn't have a bench press, then... Okay, I see you up on the blackboard. Great blackboard, by the way.
Yes.
Did you paint that on?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cheap way of doing it, but it's actually very effective. So this is your group fitness program you're doing?
Yeah, so we've got the HIIT style classes a couple of times a week, and I've got 8 standardized workouts that we use. So we don't use them all the time, but the way they're designed is that individuals will get a score at the end of the workout. So it might be total number of reps or total number of rounds that they've done. And then we record that down, and when somebody comes again and they do the workout again, we bring out their old results and say, this is what you've got. So we're going to either see A, how much you've improved, or if you're already pretty fit, then B, your challenge is to try and sort of to beat that. And a lot of our clients love it. A lot of them hate it.
But they hate the
they hate the
HIIT training.
But it works really well. So it's just a nice sort of gauge of kind of how people are improving fitness-wise and for a bit of competition. Like I say, not all the classes are that. Sometimes we just do what we feel like with it.
So with each workout, number one is one workout, number two.
Yes.
How do you determine who does what? Is it more of a random pick? Is it?
So it is completely random. So we maybe got a group of sort of 6 people, and I'm like, hey, right, we're going to do one off the board today. Has anyone got any requests? And most people say, yeah, I don't want to do this one.
Then you give them that one.
Yeah, and then I give them that one. So we'll do it. Because the classes are small, I'm always listening to what people are saying, and feedback, and we're trying to accommodate everybody. So, if I know somebody's carrying a little bit of an injury or a bit sore from a workout, then we'll maybe do one that focuses away from that area of their body, or maybe just adjust it.
What's the duration on these?
So the longest one is 20 minutes.
Okay, so you're still in that 30-minute window.
Yeah, and the shortest one is number 6, which is just done for time. And some people can get through that in about sort of 6 minutes.
Wow.
It's not a very pleasant 6 minutes, but it can be done sort of really short and sharp, and then we'll finish off with maybe some corrective exercises at the end of some core conditioning.
Mm-hmm. And then you got the competition on the rower here.
We always throw in competitions up just for a bit of fun. I get a lot of people to warm up on the row machine, so I was just getting them to stop the clock as close to 750 meters as they could, more just for a bit of fun, and people know who everybody is, so they can see how the competition's doing. We've done lots of different ones as well, like planking competitions, wall sits.
Is it just bragging rights, or is there any kind of...
Yeah, it's pretty much just bragging rights for people. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So what else do you offer here with services?
Boot camps is one that we offer. I actually sort of package it more as a corporate wellness activity, and we'll work with businesses. They're usually our clients, and they've sort of recommended us onto the business, and we'll put something together that works for them. So people can come in here and do like a group session together, or more often than not, we'll actually take people down to Victoria Park, and we'll do a boot camp style session in Victoria Park.
Is that a one-off, or is that like a series of sessions?
It can be both. So it really depends on what people want. I've just sort of completed a couple of 6-week series with Kiwi Bank, one last year and one at the beginning of this year, and people just tend to love it.
Well, outside you, this is normally a fairly quiet street, I gather.
Yes.
When the roadworks isn't happening. So. Yeah. You using outdoors much during the summer?
Yeah.
Winter as well?
Yeah, during the summer we have both the doors open, and we'll definitely do drills outside, maybe walking lunges between lampposts. Caleb, who does a lot of boxing, he'll take clients outside and do some boxing outside with them. And it's quite a nice block to run around, because you can run around and stay on the pavement. So we'll send people out for a lap every now and then.
Yeah, good way to mix it up and get out of the gym, right?
Yeah, because everybody's spending their days inside, so it's nice to get a little bit of fresh air and
exactly, exercise
outside.
Space saver with the cable system?
Yeah, absolutely. That was something I wanted from the outset. It was just, again, another essential piece of equipment. There's so much you can do with it. There's sort of a huge amount of variety of exercises. So we love this, and it gets a lot of use. Also, we can get 2 clients on it at a time.
Because they're independent stacks there.
Yeah. So again, it's sort of a perfect piece of equipment.
I mean, definitely space saving, being kind of compact there.
Yep.
Do you find any limitations being more compact compared to a full cable crossover?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it is a lot smaller, and there's probably a few exercises that we can't do on it, but
nothing major.
It works really well for us and for our clients. Yeah, and I can probably think of sort of 30 or 40 exercises off the top of my head that you could do with this and adapt it to. Where
did you get that piece from?
So that came from Elite Fitness. So some
of Life Fitness.
Some of my equipment was new. So the cable machine was new, the treadmill and the spin bike was new. The rest of it came from a gym that was closing down.
Okay, good way to go.
Yeah, so it was a fantastic way to go. So I got
you got the Fitness Works Power Rack.
Yeah, which I just love. I just love this. Yeah,
Power Racks you can't go wrong with.
No.
And then you got the Fitness Works adjustable incline benches here too.
Yes. Yep.
So did they come together from the same gym?
They did. Yes.
Yeah.
So
you found the incline best way to go, because you can use the flat and incline,
yes,
and all adjustable, so it gives you variability. You got the dead balls there.
Yeah.
I guess they're kind of handy here, not having to bounce around.
Yes, completely.
And used for your work.
Yeah.
Any kind of other work you're doing in here? Or you got the dumbbell rack.
We've got dumbbell rack as well. We've got them right the way through to 40 kgs.
That's a nice stack there. What they go up to on that stack alone?
That's up to 20 on there. So they go from 2 through to 20, mostly in sort of,
and then from the 20 to 40 kilos there.
40, and you can probably tell by the dust on the 40 kg ones that they don't get used quite as often as the 20 kg.
I thought you'd be doing
some bicep curls, absolutely. Yeah, just not in front of the camera.
And ladder.
Yep.
You do some ladder drills, some
Yeah.
mobility, agility work.
Absolutely, and we've got the boxing bag as well, which is a favourite with a lot of our clients.
You use that in that circuit class too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, one-to-one clients. We've got all the pads and box and equipment sort of hidden away down here.
So you've got all the pad work and stuff like that here too.
So I can get up to 12 people boxing at a time.
How many classes do you do a week of the boxing stuff?
Just one for the boxing. One. Yeah, on Friday lunchtime.
Do you find you're going to be opening up further later on, or you don't?
Yeah, that was always part of my plan. Was to fill the classes that I had and kind of then sort of expand from there. But for whatever reason, I found it a bit harder to fill the classes than I anticipated. You know, the PT side of things is no problem. The book is full there, but from the class side, it's definitely been more of a challenge to get people through the door.
What's the challenge do you think on that? Is awareness itself, or
it could be awareness. I mean, it could be the lunchtime effect. I'm not 100% sure really. I haven't quite put my finger on it yet. But it's
not a big part of your business at this point, so
no. But it would have, you know, it's definitely an area of my business that I could expand and could, you know, add an extra income stream for us.
Okay, and you've got a few kettlebells down
Yes.
there. You use the standardized kettlebells, which not the composition ones, so you're using those more in the circuit class as well?
Yep, and one-to-one with clients too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your kettlebells go up to? You've got 12,
so we've got,
16,
I think this one's
24?
I think that one's a
24,
yeah.
So, okay, so you've got a fairly good weight on there anyway.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for bringing us in and having a look at the place.
No problem, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a great little place on the corner here, and well hidden away from the hustle and bustle, but while being right in the middle of everything too.
Yeah, and you know, like most of our clients come from a 7-minute walk or less, so they're all in the towers all around us. So it's a very handy location.
Nothing but towers around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks.
Great, thank you.